Hi, I'm Ethan Level with Level Up Gaming, and I'm back with another monthly guide. This time we're diving into March 2023, so let's get started.
Yes, I can see it. Fate intended for us to meet here.
Coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, and S, we have Wo Long Fallen Dynasty coming March 3rd. Or this game kind of looks like Nioh 3, which makes sense because it's developed by the same studio. It is a dark action fantasy RPG in the same vein as Nioh or the Souls games, and will have you playing a nameless malicious soldier on their journey of survival in this later Han Dynasty China that is ravaged by chaos and plagued by demons. With spells, divine beasts, a wide array of weapons and battle styles inspired by the 5 phases, Wo Long's combat not only looks fun and engaging, but at times brutal and unforgiving. If you're a fan of Nioh as I am, or the Souls-like genre as a whole, this game will be right up your alley. The 4th title in this beloved franchise Fatal Frame, called Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, is finally coming worldwide. Coming March 9th, this game that was originally a Japanese Wii exclusive is getting a fancy remaster. Coming to PC, PS4 and 5, Xbox One and X and S, as well as Nintendo Switch. Set in 1980s Japan, this game will have you visiting Rugetsu Island, a place with a dark past deeply tied to the main cast and an incident with a serial killer that happened 10 years prior. You will find more than memories on this island, however, but ghosts and mystery. Not only is this exciting for Fatal Frame fans, but if you're a longtime survival horror genre lover, this game is a must play, as Fatal Frame is a beloved IP within the genre. And hey, before we continue, be sure to like and subscribe to level up your gaming experience and keep up to date with all the latest and greatest in gaming. Now on to the next title.
I can't turn back now.
Cereza, you must never enter that forest.
On March 17th, this recently announced Bayonetta prequel called Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon will release on Nintendo Switch. Long before she became known as Bayonetta, Cereza journeyed into the Forbidden Avalon Forest in search of power to help her mother. On her adventure, she came to know her first demon, Cheshire. In this game, you not only control Cereza, but also Cheshire, one with the left Joy-Con and another with the right. You have to use both characters to not only fight, but also to solve varying puzzles. This game doesn't only contain interesting gameplay, but also, as you can see, a beautiful and vibrant art style. Surely a treat for Bayonetta fans and anybody that is interested in a fun fantasy story and world.
I will give you the power to save your mother.
You're here looking for someone? Maybe some missing señorita?
And finally on March 24th, we have the Resident Evil 4 Remake. Capcom has been knocking it out of the park in the Resident Evil department lately, and many are eager to see how this remake of one of the most beloved games in the franchise will be. Featuring beautiful new graphics on the RE engine, updated gameplay and atmosphere, and maybe some story and set piece restructuring, this one looks to be in line with the recently released and critically acclaimed Dead Space remake. I, for one, am a huge fan of the original game as well as the franchise as a whole, so I'm optimistic that they can recapture the original's feel whilst updating it for modern audiences. With great third-person survival horror gameplay, a fun, engaging story, this updated version of the original is not only going to be amazing for longtime fans, but all survival horror fans. Be ready to play this one on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and PC.
Rockay City. Wow. What they used to call it, the crown jewel of Florida.
Coming March 28th, we have Crime Boss Rockay City, a game that was announced at last year's Game Awards showing off an ensemble cast in 90s Florida. An organized crime game that gives me big payday vibes that has you robbing and fighting turf wars, all with the goal of rising to the top and becoming the big crime boss of Rockay City. While I don't think the game has shown itself to be too interesting, I do think the 90s aesthetic and cast, as well as the old school looking gameplay, is very endearing and will surely find its audience. Especially if you're into crime games like Payday or even GTA, this game may be right up your alley, so be sure to check it out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC when it releases.
So why'd you leave Boston?
I've been on quite the adventure, little brother.
I reckon it's got something to do with that girl.
It's got everything to do with that little girl.
For PC fans out there, the post-apocalyptic narrative masterpiece The Last of Us is finally releasing on PC March 28th, a decade after the game's original release on PS3. With the updated graphical and gameplay improvements of the remake that came out in September of last year, this is undoubtedly looking to be the definitive way to experience this game. If you don't know, because a really popular HBO adaptation is airing right now, this game follows Joel and Ellie as they travel across destroyed America, but what follows is a beautiful story with wonderful characters as you deep dive into this world, their paths, and the moral choices that come with survival and protecting the ones you love. I know people have wanted this game on PC for a very long time, so I'm super excited for a new audience to get their hands on this one and experience it for the first time. It's a must play for any gamer, and I may just buy it a third time on PC. Now I have one honorable mention, and that is the System Shock remake. With the release window of March, this reimagining and remake of the classic System Shock game has been a troubled and long delayed production that hopes to hit your controller this March. Featuring a cyberpunk story where you play as a hacker trying to stop an evil AI Shodan and engaging gameplay and beautiful environments, this remake of the original game that went on to inspire so many titles like Bioshock looks to revive the franchise. Now, whether you're someone like me who has been patiently waiting for this game's release, or someone who played the originals or is a fan of Bioshock, this one should be a must play. I'm a big fan of games like this, and every time something like this comes out, it just feels like a breath of fresh air in the gaming market. So whether this is March or later, I will be playing.
You will suffer for your transgressions.
These are my avenging angels, and they will have retribution.
And there are some of the biggest game releases of March 2023, from some classic remasters and remakes to some wonderful new titles. March surely seems like a packed month. Let me know down in the comments which one you guys are most excited for. I think for me it's gotta be Resident Evil 4 Remake, or if System Shock actually comes out, I will for sure be playing and die from excitement. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.